Hello guys, just Lisa, a recently turned 17-year-old girl. This is the story of how my evil dad Aaron and stepmother Kelly almost ruined my life. But my grandpa Jeremy stood by me and helped me have a good life. These events happened over the years, but it only came to a head recently. I'm still recovering from the abuse I faced from my stepmother Kelly. However, I'm doing much better and thought I would share my story here. My life was pretty normal when my mum was alive. My mum was the sweetest and the most caring person you will ever find. She and my dad were high school sweethearts and married young. They had me in their 20s and we were a happy family. That was until she ultimately passed away from cancer. I was only 12 back then. I saw my mother dying before my very eyes. I couldn't help her. For the longest time I blamed myself for not being able to help her. My dad never helped me with the grief. In fact, he didn't grieve at all. I discovered that he was already cheating on my mum with Kelly before her death. After she passed away, Dad married her within 6 months. Kelly hated me with all her being. She verbally abused me and was even mean to me. She always said, "You should have died with your mother, Lisa. God knows why I had the misfortune to be stuck with you. You are just a spiked brat. I hope I can get rid of you soon." How can you say that to me, Kelly? I have a right to be here. This is my dad's place. He will never kick me out.
You can be very stupid sometimes, Lisa. I can control your dad very well. One word from me and you will be out.
Seriously? You hate me so much that you will do this. My dad will never listen to you. I was wrong, guys. My dad did listen to her. One day when I came back from school, I saw that my dad was waiting for me with my bags packed. I said, "Dad, why are my bags packed? Are we going somewhere?"
"Yes, I'm taking you to your grandpa's house. You can't live with us anymore."
"Why, Dad? What did I do? Why are you doing this?"
"Kelly doesn't want you to stay. You've been bothering her and she hates children anyway. I need to keep her happy, so you need to be out of the house." I kept begging and pleading with Dad not to kick me out. He never listened. Kelly just stood at the door smirking and occasionally laughing at me. Dad took me to Grandpa Jeremy's house and dropped me off. I was close to my grandpa, so living with him wasn't a big problem for me. But I wanted and needed my dad. I couldn't lose both of my parents within a year. Grandpa took me in and let me stay with him. He did have many fights with my dad because he couldn't accept my dad abandoning me. However, Dad stopped visiting entirely. I went to his house to beg him to take me back. I said, "Dad, please don't abandon me. I cannot live without you. I need you." "My wife needs me more than you. We are very happy without you now. I cannot ruin my life with you now. I want to forget I had a life without Kelly." "Lisa, you shouldn't pressure your father into keeping in touch. Can't you understand? He has a new family now. He doesn't want you. You should leave, Lisa. You're not welcome here anymore."
I cried and cried, but Dad was firm. He wouldn't take me back. This went on for years. Grandpa even took him to court for child support, but he still didn't relent. After a few years, Dad terminated his rights to me. He came to Grandpa's house and said,
"Lisa, I'm going to terminate my rights to you. From now on, your grandpa is your legal guardian. I hope you will stop bothering us now."
"Dad, please don't do this. How can you abandon me like this?"
"Stop complaining, Lisa. Grandpa is rich and he will give you a good life. I can't have my money goes towards you. Kelly needs me more. My decision is final." "You are a horrible father, Aaron. I can't believe you abandoned your girl. Don't worry, I will allow you to terminate your rights. She deserves someone who loves her, not a loser father who dances at his wife's commands."
When I understood that my dad didn't want me, I finally gave up. I was much happier with Grandpa anyway. I soon realized that my dad didn't love me, so I stopped trying and swore to stay away. I didn't want someone who didn't want me, but I remembered what he and Kelly did to me. I wasn't going to ever forgive them. After my dad terminated his rights, I stopped contacting them. My grandpa had put me in therapy so that I could cope with my issues.
Slowly I was recovering, but I always held resentment. I knew I wanted revenge. The perfect chance came to me when Kelly showed up one day. She came to my grandpa's house when he wasn't supposed to be home. She walked straight up to my room and said, "Hey, Lisa, I came to drop off some of your things. They were in the attic. Now that you are not Aaron's child anymore, I don't want to keep any memories of you."
"Thanks for bringing them to me, Kelly. I hope you and Dad have a good life. Now you finally have what you always wished for. I won't bother you anymore."
"Oh, I'm pretty happy already, Lisa. I also hope you forget your inheritance. I don't want you to have any expectations. Aaron won't give you anything, and I won't let him give you anything either."
"What inheritance are you talking about, Kelly? I'm very confused. Dad doesn't have anything of significance."
"Well, your dad doesn't have anything, but your grandpa does. He'll be giving Aaron all his assets when he passes. It won't be long now, you know. Your grandpa Jeremy is old. Once he dies, you will be evicted from this house as well."
"And who the hell told you that, Kelly?"
"It was your dad, of course. He is the one and only heir of Jeremy's assets. You're just a girl, so you won't be getting anything. Besides, I doubt you will even be of age when Jeremy dies. We might let you stay here till you are 18, but after that, you will be kicked out."
I heard her words and simply laughed. Honestly, her expectations from Grandpa were hilarious. I guess she had no idea that Grandpa Jeremy hated her with his entries. Just because he is civil to her doesn't mean he approves of her schemes. I knew that if Grandpa hears Kelly's words, he would be enraged, so I had planned to get my revenge on Kelly and Dad. Grandpa was quite present in the house and listening to our conversation. When Kelly finally stopped talking about her dream inheritance, he stepped into the room. He said,
"What is going on over here? Kelly, I think I told you not to bother my granddaughter in my house."
"She was telling me how I am a spoilt child and should be punished for it. She's here to tell me how I shouldn't expect any inheritance and that she would kick me out of this house once it's theirs."
"I have also warned you not to talk crap to Lisa, and why on earth do you think you will get the house, Kelly? Who gave you the impression that I will leave you anything?" "Maybe you won't give me anything, but you will give your assets to Aaron, right? He is your one and only heir and son." Grandpa Jeremy laughed at that very comment. Even he could see the extreme cluelessness of Kelly. At that point, both I and Grandpa were laughing hysterically. Kelly just looked annoyed and confused. She said, "Why are you two laughing at me? I didn't say anything wrong. Aaron is Jeremy's heir and should be getting everything. That includes this house." "You have some wild expectations, Kelly. I knew you had married my son for his money. I also know that Aaron tricked you into thinking that he will ultimately own all of my assets. Well, he wasn't wrong then, but he is now." What do you mean? Nothing has changed. He will still get all your assets as his inheritance." "Here's some news for you, Kelly. Aaron won't be getting any of my assets. He had shown exactly how much of a worthless idiot he is. I won't be leaving him anything of value. I have someone else in mind for that." "No, that can't be true. You are bluffing. There is no way you will give your inheritance to someone else. You will give your assets to your own blood." "Well, I do have several options, Kelly, and I have already decided who will get all of my assets, so it's time for you to stop dreaming and start working, because once I am gone, you will be the one who will become homeless." "You can't do that to us. Nothing is set in stone. Just wait till Aaron hears about it. This is not the end of our discussion." Saying that, Kelly left Grandpa's house. Grandpa sighed and looked at me. We both knew that another screaming storm would be coming soon. Kelly will tell Dad about our discussion, and both of them will be back to demand their share of the inheritance. Grandpa Jeremy knew this day was coming, so he wasn't anxious about the confrontation. Instead, he looked pretty serious and prepared. I was just waiting for my revenge. I knew it was time Kelly and my dad got some life lessons. As we predicted, Kelly and Dad showed up at the house in the evening. Dad had to leave work early and drive to Grandpa's house. I guess inheritance troubles do make it possible to take time off work. Anyway, they show up, and my dad looks pissed. Kelly smirked at me and patted my dad on the back. Grandpa Jeremy just silently waited for them to speak. Dad said, "What the hell am I hearing, Dad? You told Kelly that you won't leave me anything." "That's right, you won't be getting anything of value for your inheritance. In fact, I doubt it will even qualify to be called an inheritance." You can't do that to me. I am your son, your one and only heir. I deserve all your assets. How can you say you won't leave me anything? I won't leave you anything because you have turned out to be a crappy person. I had no idea you would become this vile and selfish in your life. My only solace is the fact that I got to see your true face before planning my will. How can you talk to your son like that, Jeremy? You are a father. Have you ever considered your son's feelings? Has Aaron ever considered Lisa's feelings? Why should I show fatherly love to someone who doesn't even look after his own daughter? That is a separate issue, Dad. It has nothing to do with my inheritance. I don't even understand why Lisa is here in this discussion. She does not need to be here.
Grandpa told me to be here, Dad. I have no interest in hearing inheritance discussions. I have no expectations from anyone about anything.
Lisa has every need to be here, Aaron. She might not be your daughter anymore, but she is still my granddaughter. Lisa is here because she is the one who will inherit all my assets.
Everyone was stunned by Grandpa's words. I was pretty surprised by his reaction as well. Grandpa did talk about leaving me the house in his will, but I had no idea that he would leave me everything. I was shocked but silent. However, my dad and Kelly blew up at Grandpa. They said,
You can't be serious, Jeremy. Lisa is just a child, and she is a girl. She has no right to inherit all your assets. Your son should be the one to get everything. Dad, how can you do this to me? What has Lisa done that I haven't done? You are choosing Lisa over your son? Yes, Aaron, I'm choosing Lisa over my son, just like you chose a gold digger over your daughter. Look at the way you mention Lisa. Have you forgotten that she is your blood? I chose Kelly because I love her. Lisa is only a part of my past. I don't even want to think of her as my daughter. You have no right to choose her over me. Hell, I don't even consider her my daughter anymore. That's exactly why you won't get anything, Aaron. It shames me to think that I have raised such an entitled and selfish man like you. I'm not even dead, but your wife has been talking about kicking your daughter out of the house. You should be ashamed of yourself. You have some nerve coming here and demanding any inheritance. You can give Lisa everything. I won't let it happen. I will get a lawyer.
Grandpa Jeremy looked pretty pissed off when Dad said that. He immediately took out some documents and showed them to Kelly and Jeremy. Then he said,
I have prepared everything, Aaron. All my assets will go to Lisa. You will only get some money so that you can't contest the will. There is no use trying. What is this? Dad, you already made a will? You have to be kidding me. You can't do this. What about our house? Will you give that to Lisa too? Yes, I will. It's my property and I will decide who gets it. Since I'm feeling generous today, I'll give you a condition. There is only one way I will leave you the house that you stay in now. What do I have to do? Tell me now. I'll do anything. If Lisa forgives you for your actions, I might leave you something. But first, you and Kelly have to apologize to her and beg for her forgiveness. You can't be serious. We're not doing that, Aaron. I'm not apologizing or begging Lisa. Do something.
Kelly looked pretty panicked while my dad stayed silent. When it was clear that they were struggling to apologize to me, I had enough. To be honest, I never expected or needed their apology. For a very long time, I knew that my relationship with them was over. I had no interest in rekindling anything or forgiving anyone, so I finally spoke and said, Grandpa, there's no need to ask them to apologize. I know they are having trouble doing it. Frankly speaking, I don't want their apology. I will never forgive them, so there is no use.
Okay then, if Lisa doesn't want to forgive you, there is no other way. Looks like my will won't be changing after all. No, wait, we will apologize to Lisa. Lisa, please forgive us. We shouldn't have treated you like that. I just wanted to leave my past behind, so I didn't want to take care of you.
Don't even try, Dad. I know Kelly made you leave me. I did nothing to deserve this treatment. You were supposed to be my parents. I was supposed to feel loved by you. Your poor excuse for a father.
Don't say that, Lisa. Look, I'm trying to be a better person here. You are being unreasonable. Even Kelly will apologize to you, right, Kelly?
Yes, sorry, Lisa. Let's just try this again. Who knows? We can even be best friends. Don't make me laugh, Kelly. You hated me and wanted me out. All these years you and Dad have treated me like crap. You two abandoned me and left me here. I'm alive because of Grandpa. You're apologizing because you need Grandpa's assets. I will never forget your abuse and I will never forgive you. After saying my part, I burst into tears and went to my room. I just couldn't take it anymore. I felt sorry for myself because of everything that I had to go through. I had no feelings left for my dad and Kelly. As far as I was concerned, they were dead to me. From my room I could hear my grandpa berating them. He was so agitated that his shouting could be heard all over the house. Dad and Kelly were pretty silent. When Grandpa kicked out my dad and Kelly, the house became peaceful again. Grandpa found me in my room and held me as long as I cried. He even ordered my favourite food and made sure I had dinner. Meanwhile, Dad and Kelly kept blowing up my phone. They were calling me names for influencing my grandpa and berating me for not forgiving them. Grandpa saw everything and was even more pissed. As the days passed, Grandpa took some drastic steps. He transferred all his property to my name and appointed my favourite aunt as my legal guardian in case he passes before I turn 18. Hopefully, that wouldn't be too soon. Grandpa also took another drastic step. He served Dad and Kelly eviction notices. Since Dad and Kelly were living in a house that he owned, he was able to evict them. After getting the notice, Dad and Kelly kept blowing up my and Grandpa's phone. They even showed up at the house and begged us to talk. They said, "Please don't kick us out, Dad. Where will we go? You know I don't have a very good job. Kelly doesn't work either. We will become homeless." "You should have thought about that before neglecting your daughter. We take care of our family, Aaron, and those who don't have a place in my house. Besides, I'm all set to transfer the house to Lisa, so it's up to her now." "Lisa, please don't do this to us. Talk to your grandpa and tell him to reconsider. You don't want to see your father homeless, do you?" "You can't just kick out your father, Lisa. How can you be so cruel? You are depriving him of your love and support." "Yes, I am. Just like Dad and you kicked me out of your home. I'm going to be just as cruel to you as you were to me." "Look, we know we messed up, but this can be solved. I didn't even want to kick you out. It's just that Kelly didn't want a teenager in the house. Why don't you come live with us? That way we can be a family again. And families don't kick each other out." "I don't consider either of you to be my family. You have already terminated your rights as a parent. Dad, you left me to Grandpa because you wanted to concentrate on your new family. Kelly becomes your priority over me. You did everything Kelly wanted. This is on you, and on Kelly for being such an evil stepmother. Don't ever contact me again. Only Grandpa is my family." Grandpa then promptly kicked them out again. Since Dad had already terminated his rights to me, he had no legal right to take me home. I guess they forgot that part. Anyway, I knew what my dad and Kelly were like. I had no delusions about their fake love or care for me, so I asked them never to contact me again. Grandpa also supported the decision and told me to stay away. Months passed and Grandpa said Dad and Kelly were kicked out as usual. I recently turned 17 and celebrated the milestone with my grandfather. We also celebrated his 70th birthday with a grand party. Dad and Kelly were, of course, not invited. Dad still reaches out from time to time, while Kelly has been blocked by me. Dad tells me that his marriage is coming to an end because they constantly fight. He also keeps apologizing to me and asking for a second chance. Apparently he is financially struggling and Kelly's tantrums are mentally affecting him. I simply told him to get therapy and hang up. A few days ago, Dad said that he is divorcing Kelly. Since he doesn't own anything and has very little income, Kelly won't be getting anything substantial out of him. They are starting to get separated and Kelly throws tantrums about getting a job. Dad will be paying alimony, but still, Kelly will have to work to live by herself. Meanwhile, I'm doing great and looking forward to my graduation and adulthood next year.